Is that the mic? So.
I was going to congratulate Marcus, and he's not here. I mean, you'd think the guy who was just named Sports Writer of the Year would be here for the pregame interview with the coach, but I guess attendance at press conferences was not part of the criteria, and yeah, he's too big time. No, in all seriousness, I do want to congratulate Marcus. So I'll do that. And James Edwards, who I understand is here tonight too, but they're off probably having a beer together, just doing whatever. But no, that's great. That's awesome, and hopefully I'll get to see Marcus at some point tonight. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, just the nature of Draymond's injury obviously causes alarm bells for people who may not just kind of understand it. Can you just, whatever you know about it and just the organization's concern level, what is it?
What Rick has told me is exactly what was in the statement, that the calf injury could possibly be related to the disc. And so they're doing, plenty of rehab, and he is making improvement every day, and we'll reevaluate in 2 weeks. Yeah. So I really don't have anything to add beyond that.
Steve, coming off of this 1-3 road trips, how big is it to right the ship here at home? And after reviewing some of the film, what are going to be the keys to doing that?
Well, it all starts defensively. We have been really good defensively all year, but we've not been good defensively over the last week. The road trip was not our best stuff at that end, and so we got to get back to our basics defensively, ball pressure and rotations, communication, all the stuff we have done really a good job of all season long. And this is, in my mind, much more likely the exception rather than the rule, but we have to go prove that. We've got to go prove that the team that we've been all year is the team that's going to be out there tonight, really defending with a lot of energy and a lot of force. So we'll see.
Obviously, with Draymond out and other guys have been in and out, it's hard to tell what the rotation may or may not be, but we've been talking about the rotation shuffle all season, seems like, when Clay gets back, when he's back, and when Wiseman gets back. Has that already sort of begun, though? We did see JTA kind of losing some minutes, or have you already kind of started that shuffle, realizing there's going to be spots that they're going to be taken?
Yeah, and then almost immediately it changed, with Draymond's injury. So there's a ripple effect, and what we thought we were going to do when Clay first came back was altered, and with his injury. But this is what we tell our guys all the time, that they just have to stay ready, and their time is going to come around. If they're not in the rotation, they just have to stay prepared. But the other tricky part is keeping Clay's minutes at 22, 23. It's hard for him because he's either got to play a bunch of really, really short bursts in order to play throughout the game, or you give him kind of like 4, 5 or 6 minute runs, which allows him to get into a little rhythm during the run. But then there's a long break, especially if you want him in at the end of the half and at the end of the game. So it's a little awkward right now, but we're really lucky to have a lot of depth and a lot of young players who are getting a good opportunity to play. And so we'll just keep pushing forward and hopefully get everybody healthy, and we're able to find that rotation before too long.
Who was the fifth starter tonight with the expected for?
JK.
What kind of progress was James able to make on the road trip?
The progress with?
James was able to make on the road trip, if any?
Well, we hardly did anything as a team, other than film sessions and walkthroughs because we had so many games. So he did plenty of work individually, but nothing team related.
Is the Kuminga start a reward for how well he's played? Is it matchup based? Kind of what went into that decision?
Combination. He's played really well. And with Draymond out, it feels like a good time to play JK with Steph and Clay and Loon. He's a natural kind of, big wing / small 4, small 5. You could throw him anywhere in there defensively. He's capable of guarding any of those spots. And so we really want to see what he looks like in that starting group. And then when Draymond gets back, we'll see what he looks like with Draymond in that group. So, but he's earned this. He's played really hard the last few games, and he's understanding his force when he runs and really puts pressure on the defense, running both ways. It makes our team a lot better. And I told him today, if you don't run tonight, you might never touch the ball because Steph and Clay are going to shoot every time. So you better run the floor if you want to get the ball.
Hey, what's your impression of Tate Cunningham? He had a slow start to the injury, but he's come on in these past few weeks here. What's your impression of just him as a rookie and what he's doing?
Well, he looks like he's settling in. He's shooting the ball much better now. You could see early in the season that he had all of that in his game, the step backs and the crossovers and the penetration and, finding people over the top of the defense with his size. But it took him a little while to get comfortable, as it takes everybody. But it looks like he's settling in and has a much more confident shooting stroke now.
Steve, going with JK at the start, how much of that also was factored in when you look at Belly and Otto and Jordan together off the bench? That's something that you also like to see?
That you mean putting Otto back into the second unit?
Right.
Yeah.
Belly and Jordan.
Yeah. And Jordan. Yeah. I mean, we like having, especially when Steph is off the floor, we try to put as much shooting on the floor as possible. With Steph on the floor, we can survive some lineups that aren't as shooting dominant. But when Steph is off the floor, we find that the more shooting, the better. And so ideally, if we can, put those groups together, whether it's Damian, Otto, Belly, Jordan, some combination of those guys, it allows us to get into a better offensive flow.
Steve, how's Andre?
He's questionable for tonight, as is Gary. I haven't talked to Rick yet about tonight.
Given where Andre is in his career, are you going to be a little bit more cautious, just letting him sit games if there's even like a minor situation?
For sure.
Just in there, do you feel good about, where he's at physically overall, given at this point in the season?
Yeah. I mean, he's played really well for us. He's helped us win games. He had the one stretch where he missed a bunch of games in a row with the knee swelling. But he's doing a great job of getting into the training room and the weight room every single day and taking care of himself. But there's no doubt, we're going to be really careful with him.
Clay had D'Angelo, I guess, his initial defensive assignment last game, and it seemed like that was maybe the first time you put him on a kind of penetrating scorer. Was that just because you've seen him kind of elevate, and how did you think he did? He talked about a couple blow-bys. That wasn't with D'Angelo. I guess it was kind of running to the corner on shooters. But what did you think he did against D'Angelo? What was the thinking in that assignment? I
thought Clay looked good defensively. The thinking was we wanted Wiggins on Anthony Edwards, and so that left Clay or Jordan on D'Lo, and because D'Lo was going to be involved in more pick and roll, we wanted Clay on him because of his ability to switch and get over screens. He's just a lot bigger than Jordan. So that was just matchup based, but it was also a good chance for Clay to cover a ball handler after guarding shooters the first couple games.
Let me see if we had anything on Zoom here. Jason Dumas.
Hey, Steve, how you doing? I know you guys saw him earlier in the year, but how do you think Cade Cunningham has progressed through his rookie year? And, what do you see as out of him as a young player in this league?
He's really talented. He's going to be a great player, and he's really emerging now that he's got his feet underneath him and, getting accustomed to the league and really shooting the ball a lot better than he was early in the season and seems to be, kind of finding his way now.
Thank you.
Steve, you probably saw this today. I don't know if you did or not, but Nick Saban and Jerry West, among people who are from West Virginia, sent a letter to Joe Manchin basically urging him to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. And I just wondered, do you have any thoughts about that in terms of what they're doing to try and get this thing pushed through and just in general, their participation in trying to be involved in this situation?
I read the story. I thought it was fantastic, especially because Senator Manchin is so crucial to all this. And I applaud Coach Saban and Jerry West and there were many others I saw too. Yeah. So I applaud them all for pushing for that. I think it's so important. I mean, establishing the ability to vote is really the number one pillar of our democracy. And so I was thrilled to read that story. That's great.
Steve, the organization put out a statement yesterday about the minority owner who made comments about the genocide in China, and just that stuff is stuff that matters a lot to you too. And I just wanted to give you an opportunity if there's anything you want to add to what the team said yesterday.
I actually just heard about it. Raymond told me the story. The only thing I'll say is that he doesn't speak for our organization. And I think, all of us with the organization feel very strongly about our values. And so Shamat does not speak for us. All right. Thank you.